everyone, and welcome back to the Creation Motivation channel. I am at Lose and Maintain. That's my username on creationmotivation.com. And today we're going to be talking about mental fluctuations and how they affect your weight loss goals and your journey. So if you're positive, if you're negative, if you're optimistic, if you're pessimistic. And it's very obvious which is the better mentality to have, but there's also problems with each side. There's even problems with being too positive. I did a similar video on emotions with the scale and how the scale affects you and how it can pull you down. So I did my weigh-in that day, I believe, and that's why I was so frustrated and decided to even make that video. And I definitely was in a negative headspace, but I did use optimism to get me out of there. A little positivity can go a long way. If you don't apply that in your life, I believe you won't reach your goals. And it's very obvious if you compare someone who's more positive in their daily life to someone who is extremely negative. The positive person is going to make more progress over time. If I had let the negativity get to me, I would have given up. And I have given up in the past. Like I have always said, I'm a yo-yo dieter and I've gained the weight back. And that's why this time I want it to stick and I want to maintain my weight for the long term. In the past, I have had bad weigh-ins and I've let it get to me to the point where I took a break for a couple days and the couple days turned into a week, a month. And I just gained all the weight back. That's why I think it's very important to have self-confidence in yourself, determination, but also to be positive as well. Being negative can really impact you. Just think about, the start of your day. You get up, you decide to go for a run, but you're not feeling well. You're feeling really down and out, and negative thoughts start to come in. Once you let one negative thought come in, more negative thoughts are coming in. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't really feel well. And instead of stopping it there and trying to find a positive, it's going to turn into more negative. So, oh, I don't feel good. I really don't want to go out there. If I go out there, this might happen, or I might hurt myself, or I might get sick, or I'm just not feeling it. I'm just so out of shape. I'm so down and out. And then you start to spiral into this beat yourself up phase where, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't feel well, and it's because I'm out of shape and I let this happen to me, and you just start to beat yourself up. Now, this doesn't happen for everyone, of course, but for some people it does. And a person like me, I tend to let my thoughts and worries overtake me at times. And that's why it's important to try to put in some positivity. So you wake up and you have this thought like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. Immediately think, oh, but I'll feel really good if I can accomplish this today. Or think of how good it'll feel to finish this workout, or think of how relaxing it could be, like a nice walk and you take in nature if it's nice outside, or if you are stuck inside, put something nice on to listen to, nice music, just something positive instead of focusing so much on the negative. There's the old saying, right? There's people who view the glass as half full, or they view the glass as half empty. So obviously, the optimists would think the glass is half full, and relating to weight loss, you would view the glass as your weight loss. As an optimist with a positive look, you would view the half fullness as how much you've lost already, and you're happy because you're making progress towards the full, your goal weight, right? But if you're a negative pessimist, you would view the glass as half empty, and you would just view it as, oh, there's so much more weight I still have to lose. Even though you have this accomplishment, even though you've lost something, it can even be the very start. It can be just, a couple pounds lost. And instead of celebrating that victory and pushing forward, you get down on yourself and you think, oh, there's still so much more I have to do. This is not going to work. This is just too much. How am I going to do this? No, you have to switch it around and be positive and focus on reaching that goal bit by bit. And I have a goal list. I put it on my blog. I like to cross them off. And I have a lot of goals, okay? I split it into little baby goals, like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, getting back to a certain number or a certain range of numbers. And that way, as the weeks go on, I can cross these goals off and celebrate them. Even though they're little baby steps, it's something to celebrate, and it kind of gives you this little motivational boost to keep going. Even though you know there's so much more you got to do, you see the progress and you see the little steps you are taking. So it is very important to incorporate positivity in your day, especially towards yourself. I can't stress this enough. So many people focus on others and they leave themselves behind. I don't know why, but it's really important to practice self-care as well. And it's true that people can be selfish and take it too far and get over obsessed, but you do have to take time for yourself as well to exercise and eat mindfully and just do little things for you. But on the other hand, you do need to not be too positive. So I wasn't sure how to phrase this because it's kind of odd, but this just been a thought in my head lately where I have thought about how positive I am and how in the past I have gotten to a point where I tell myself, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm definitely doing this. I know I can do this. I've done this before several times and I'm going to do this. And I was really positive and really hyped up and excited, but nothing happened, or I just kept gaining weight, or I just stayed the same. And it was because I was kind of in this la land of knowing I can do it and being super, super positive. And even if other people are complimenting you, giving you words of encouragement, it helps, but it doesn't push you to change too much. So that's why I have to stress, you can be a little too optimistic to the point where you don't change, where you just believe you can do it, but you don't make the effort or implement the changes needed or the new habits needed to get the ball rolling and get progress towards your goal. You need to be realistically optimistic. You need to be realistic about it. So negativity, it's actually linked to worry. It's linked to sadness and anger and things like that. These are all actually normal emotions that humans should feel and do feel, but you can't let it take over you. And it's the same for both sides of the coin, for negativity and positivity. You have to do a balancing act and not have too much of either one, right? It's very good to be happy and optimistic, of course, but you don't want to be so optimistic that you turn a blind eye, that you don't pay attention to what's needed to be done. Worry is an important thing. I've heard people say that worrying is not important and it doesn't do anything for you, but it does have a function. It keeps you thinking about issues in your life, situations that are happening that are threatening, and helps push you to find a solution. The act of finding a solution doesn't actually need worry, but worry kind of pushes us towards it, right? So in a way, it is important. It's just people take it way too far. People over worry. I am an over worrier. It'll keep you up at night. It'll cause insomnia. A lot of negatives, but a little bit is important. You need to push yourself to make a strategy, to make steps that are gonna get you going towards your goal. So you need to say, okay, well, yes, I believe that I can do this. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I'm positive. But what do I need to do to make this happen? And in order to do that, you've got to make a list. Tell yourself, okay, I need to walk at least a couple times a week. I need to eat more salad. I need to eat more vegetables. I need to have more protein, but healthy proteins in my diet, and try to replace. It doesn't have to be all at once. It can be baby steps. Believe me, I can't do it without baby steps. I have to ease myself into it because, as I've talked about before, those first week of cravings are horrible. They're awful. So yes, slowly replace things. So instead of soda, maybe you get something similar to soda. I myself like seltzer water. Seltzer water is very similar to soda. It's, a lot less sugar, a less flavor, but it does have that similar bubbly taste, I guess. But just little things like that. Doesn't have to be all at once. But just replacing soda. I have seen on TV and online, I've seen people lose tons of weight just from replacing their soda. Not even changing how they eat, but just replacing their soda with something much lower calorie, much less sugar. So yeah, you need to have a plan in place. You need to focus one thing at a time. If you see the weight starting to stall, have a plan of action. Yes, there is drama with the scale. It does happen. But if it does happen, make a plan of action for the new week. Try to do better, or don't even try. Well, yeah, try, but know that you can do better and implement doing better. So I'm still doing good. I'll do a quick little update here. I am still losing. I have had a much better week than the scale drama week. It was a stall, a temporary stall. They happen, and I'm sure they will happen again this week. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have a big loss. There was another party this weekend. There was a lot of celebrating, but I did my best. I really, really did. It was actually pretty healthy food. There was grilled chicken and salad, but they also gave these crazy desserts. Tons of calories with those desserts. There's cheesecake. Life happens. Like I said, you just got to keep pushing on. I could have turned down the cheesecake. I could have turned down the sweets, all of that. I did turn down sodas and other things, but sometimes you're weak. And that's the thing. We got to move on from it. We have to keep trying and practicing and pushing, because if you give up, you become a yo-yo dieter. You just gain it back, and then you got to lose again, and you got to go through the whole thing over again, and we don't want that. So I'm wrapping it up here. I hope you all have a great day. Take a baby step every day. Motivate yourself. Tell yourself something positive, because at the end of the day, we are our biggest cheerleaders. We listen to our own minds the most, shockingly, even though we don't take our own advice. But if you don't have a lot of people close to you that can motivate you, you gotta dig your heels in and do something for yourself. And be nice to yourself. Be positive to yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you are beautiful, even though you probably don't believe it. Studies show that the more you do that, if you do that every day, you'll actually start to believe it a little bit. Instead of saying something negative to yourself in the mirror, just say something positive, something nice, and it'll stick. Believe me, I am the worst with that, but sometimes I do actually believe in myself, and it's a freeing feeling. So, happy goal getting. Be positive to yourself. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You can do it. Have a great day. Bye.